Oh, all right. Here, you hear me?
Ah, ahora tienes el micrófono puesto, chico. ¿Qué te pasa?
Aquí estamos, aquí estamos. Man, well, I was just trying to show
All
you. Well,
right,
I guess you
so
saw the visual, but yeah, great atmosphere here at the home of Real Madrid, Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. Fans seem to be knowledgeable. The ones within an earshot of me, they knew when to complain about officials. They knew, different penalties and, some of the more complex parts of the game. So good, knowledgeable fan base. I'm sure a lot of people travel from a lot of places, so it's not like everyone was just new to the sport. But it was a cool atmosphere and
yeah,
loud for
man.
both teams. Yeah,
It was
it was loud for
it
both
was
teams. Yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah.
yeah. Le traímos un juego feo. Unfortunately, I mean, we gave them an ugly game, dude. It was like two teams that didn't want it, and it was just no, you take it, no, you take it, no, you take it, and Miami got lucky here.
Yeah, that other Sunday night when Jaden Daniels went down with the elbow injury, I tweeted like, "Man, the NFL is doing Spain a disservice sending the Dolphins and the Commanders over there." Half jokingly, of course, because they've never had an NFL game, so of course it's going to be tremendous for anyone out here who does want to see any NFL game. But that first half, boy, penalties. Kicking field goals, settling for them instead of getting into the end zone. I mean, maybe there's a lot of soccer fans here, so maybe they appreciate the kicking game more. So maybe they got something out of that. But luckily, at least the second half, you started to see some drama. It was close. Both teams get into the end zone, and then of course the game-changing play. Well, and then the controversy, end of regulation, going for the 4th and goal at the 1, not getting it, and then going into overtime. Jack Jones makes a huge play. So a lot of twists and turns at the end that I think were exciting for all the fans that were on and everyone who was watching at home.
So, what'd you think of not going for the field goal? How how dumb was that by McDaniel?
Man, I wish I could be the one that's like after the fact saying, man, I like he had to take the points. And in a lot of those situations, I am like that. But I will say, before it happened, I was with the decision. I like to make these calls before I see the results. And I was saying I would do the same. I would go for it because you're at the 1. You have Ollie Gordon. You've been successful this season in short yardage situations when you're not penalized on them. I got to say, I got to admit, I would have done the same thing because there was still so much time left on the clock. Of course, after the fact, yeah, then you wish you had the points.
You're facing Marcus Mariota, bro. It's Marcus Mariota. You're fearing Marcus Mariota? Really?
All right, but at the same time, then if no, yeah, I was gonna say he's not gonna go from the 1 to then put himself in scoring range, which they did. So you're saying Marcus Mariota? Well, he did get him down into a long field goal range after that, but no, I mean I get both sides of the argument. I was kind of close
eventually
on it.
Yeah, if you're playing Josh Allen, you're playing what's it called, Mahomes, you're playing a guy like that. I understand you're going, you know what, bro, 3 ain't going to win this shit. There's too much on the clock. You give the ball to Mahomes, our game is over. Okay? So I get that, but I'm playing Marcus Mariota. My defense is playing pretty good overall. I'm taking my chances, bro. It was a horrible decision, bro. A horrible decision.
No, I hear you. Okay. I hear you. Yeah. But I think at the 1, it's just the difference from once you're at the 1, I feel like I needed to see a touchdown if you weren't kicking a field goal as time expired. If you weren't kicking the field goal as time expired, I wanted to see a touchdown once they got there. They had 2 chances and they got stuffed both times. And Devon Achane almost got hurt on one of them. I mean, he was down, but he went back into the game. So because it was at the 1, I was on board with it beforehand. But now that I've seen the result, I will be with you and say, terrible decision. He shouldn't have done that. I know you had it from the beginning, though.
No, yeah, I hated it. I couldn't understand how you made that. You take the points right there and you go for the win. I was jokingly here telling the other Dolphin fans, wow, incredible. This is the moment we needed Dave Wannstedt. Okay, guys. Okay, let's take the field goal and count our defense. Let's go, guys. You know that's kind of what we needed. We needed a Dave Wanstead at that moment. I'm afraid to say that, but we kind of needed that at that moment. It was insane. A-Chan, bro. I wow. There aren't enough words to describe how good this dude is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I always knew going into this game, I felt like that's a great player to put on this platform. That for anyone internationally, if that's sort of the guy they're gonna remember from seeing their first NFL game, let's say he's electric. So what a great guy to put in this type of game, and he delivered. I knew he would coming off the game against Buffalo. I felt like he would do something similar, maybe. Not to the level of Jonathan Taylor last week in Germany, but yeah, another excellent game, another 100-yard rushing performance, and to do it both rushing and receiving. He is the Dolphins' best player, just straight up, regardless of position. He's. I feel like the Dolphins gotta lock him up. They're running him into the ground a lot at his size, but I feel like he is going to last for the foreseeable future. This could eventually start taking its toll and taxing him down the road. But if next year's a contract year, I'd like to lock him in before that, because he still has plenty of football, even at this rate. And another incredible performance from him.
Yeah, I would definitely lock him up for a second contract. He is definitely worthy of it. I do worry about long-term wear and tear because they do give it to him a lot. I'd like to see Ollie's attempts increase, but I understand Achan is so intoxicating. A big play can happen at any moment with Achan. But I got to say, Ollie looked good today. He did look good today.
Yeah. Ollie looked good. Hey, scored that touchdown. He brings that power element. That's such a great tandem to have. For the speed of Achan, the power of Ollie, this is what we envisioned when the Dolphins drafted him. Like, okay, true power back, because Jalen Wright has some power in his game, but I think he's more balanced. Because he can also blaze it a little bit, but I don't think either one of those parts of Jalen Wright's game have kind of flourished. Whereas Ollie, his power threats, the way he bangs in there, truly has come to the forefront for him. So I think it's a great tandem to bang an opponent with Ollie, and then you have the speed of Achan to change it up. It's really tough for defenses to go back and forth from those two styles.
Yeah. Now the other disturbing is you got to stop with the deep balls to Jalen Waddle when he's double covered. That's not his game, dude. He's not the guy that high points footballs and beats people physically up in the air. That's really never been his game. His game is speed and separation. That's how you use Jalen Waddle. I don't know why Mike McDaniel continues to dial up that option.
Yeah, and I think that was more so a bad decision by Tua, because he's got to be able to see that the safety is over the top. Last week we talked about this, and I was saying when it's 3rd and long, I can get those decisions, even if the safety's there. Hey, let's see what happens. See if you can draw a penalty. Maybe Jalen Waddle comes down with it somehow. So what if it's an interception and when it's 3rd and long, because it's the same as if you're incomplete and then you punt on the next play if they just come down and fall off the interception. But this time, he threw it on a 1st down, so that's a huge no-no. There's so many things you could do. You still have 2 more downs afterwards before you either punt or whatever the case may be. So I was totally against that one. Tua's very fortunate that one did not result in a turnover, because you can't do that on
I agree, by the way. That's a great call on you. It was also a shitty decision by Tua to make that throw. That was just not smart on his part, and he put the ball at risk there, at times. Talk to me a little bit about the defense. What'd you think of them overall today?
Still gave up a lot on the ground. I know a big chunk of that was Mariota scrambling. So Yeah, I mean, one of them was 44-yard scramble. That is part of rush defense. That that kind of while you're in a pass defense sets. But Rodriguez, he still had plenty up there. He had 5.3 yards per carry. So I didn't love the run defense. They stood strong at the goal line, so the same way the Dolphins came up empty on Washington's goal line stand. Hey, the Dolphins, they stood up down near the goal line, so give them credit for that. Jack Jones, what a play. I mean, we talk about a guy who wasn't on the team to start training camp. Dolphins had this huge opportunity needing a cornerback, and he was one of the guys they signed along with, I remember it was Mike Hilton and him that the Dolphins were signing. Mike Hilton is long gone. Jack Jones has solidified himself a starter on one side. Rasul Douglas brought in later, but he has remained true even when it was like Ethan Bonner started rotating with him, and his aggressiveness came through at such a clutch moment, an ideal time there, because an interception there when overtime starts is the field position. You are already in range for a field goal, and that is game-winning field goal range because now you have the second possession. Washington just wasted its first, a field goal wins it. So that is just like doubly a huge play when you intercept a team on the first play from scrimmage of overtime like that. So a great time for him to go and jump a route and come through for the defense. So and he was smiling with his grill post game in the press conference. I was like, I wonder what the good people of Spain think of this as this is the image they get. So pretty cool for him. Pretty cool for this to happen for him on this kind of stage.
All right, so let me ask you, what'd you think of the Rappaport report that they really may keep McDaniel next year, that Stephen Ross might be leaning in that direction? How does that make any sense whatsoever, dude?
Yeah, well, I think we've seen that Stephen Ross really does like Mike McDaniel and really does believe in him. So it wasn't entirely surprising, especially since a lot of what we've already heard was an emphasis on him sticking with him at least through this season. I bet seeing how the team came together against Buffalo for a shocking, stunning victory, 30-13 against a team that had run 7 straight on you. I think probably that really validated it for himself, for Stephen Ross to feel validated in his belief in him. So there's probably that. Even though a lot of us were going to be critical of McDaniel's decision to go for it on a 4th and goal at the 1, I think Stephen Ross will look at it as he came through with a win on an international stage, which, like we talked about on Friday, this is important to Ross, to Garfinkel, is to put on a performance for different fan bases. So I bet they are thrilled that they came away with a victory in a foreign country for the business aspect of it. So I'm not surprised. And it was interesting when we had a conversation, the local media that traveled to cover this team out here, we had a conversation with Champ Kelly, the interim GM. And one of the things he said was that he's emphasizing down the stretch is how he works with Mike McDaniel, which seems to indicate that for him on the interim level, that he really views something as important as working with McDaniel, because he might view McDaniel as someone who's more solid in the role than I think a lot of people on the outside feel. So I thought that was telling when he said that.
Okay. Interesting. To me, I mean, he has to kind of say that because he's working with the guy right now.
Sure.
To me, it just makes no sense as an owner that you want to keep the guy around. And listen, in the end, it just looks like the Dolphins are a pure money grab because you're giving away a home game. You don't really give a shit about it overall. You're going to keep McDaniel. That's not what sells. You know, you watch his incompetence. Even today, he could have easily lost that game. And you send all the wrong signals to your fans as an owner. And as I asked Perkins, Ross has nobody around him, bro. Nobody around him. Because if it's Brandon Shore And Tom Garfinkel giving Ross advice. Well, look what the advice has turned into for the last several years. Nothing. If it's Marino or Nat Moore giving their 2 cents in the box whenever the old man's got to say, so what do you think, Dan, about this? Dan's from Pittsburgh. He's going to have an opinion on everything. You know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, it's really hard to think about the future with the Dolphins like a bright one when your owner has nobody around him to give him any kind of direction, and these are the decisions that you're making.
Interesting points, all of them. And I think the track record of the Dolphins not coming away with playoff victories for 25 years. You do point to that as far as when you opine on how the franchise is run. But he made the decision to go make the change at general manager. Now I feel like Champ Kelly is sort of. He's viewing it as an opportunity. It is for all intents and purposes an audition, but no, I get it from the Mike McDaniel standpoint because I feel every step of the way, every season has been disappointing. You have the 2022 season where you have you gift him a roster that is built to win, and all it results in is 9-8, same as Brian Flores did with a much less talented roster the year before. And it's underwhelming that you just finish 9-8, bow out in the first round of the playoffs. 2023, you have a team that is ready to take the next step. Tua Tagovailoa is healthy for the full season. You don't have the concussion excuse that you had, the concussion excuse that you had the previous year. You have a defense that's banged up, but it seems like every year there's another excuse as to why you couldn't take the next level. 2024, you take a step back. Obviously, this team is where it is right now. 2025, they started 1-6, and now has picked up some steam, winning 3 out of 4. So we'll see what comes on the other side of the bye, because now I see them picking up some momentum. I feel like they're going to beat the Saints at home. They're going to beat the Jets. They're going to get to 6-7 going into that Monday night game against Pittsburgh. And then they're going to be in the hunt playoff graphics as opposed to in the hunt for the number 1 pick, which is what we thought a few weeks ago. So that's how things go in the NFL.
But in the end, nothing's changed. You're stuck in the middle, and you can't tell me one bright spot for the future when it comes to the top of the organization. There's nobody guiding Stephen Ross. There's not one person there that I'm saying, oh, man, that's the person I want in Stephen Ross's ear. Not one of them. Not one of them. It's bad.
It's a fair point. You haven't seen any of it come to fruition during this tenure. And I think that has that's a big part of it, for sure.
All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Catch his work at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. What do you got going on in the Sentinel?
Yeah, I got to figure out what I will be writing off. I'm in communication with Perk and Hyde on, but maybe it might be about Jack Jones's big moments.
About who the hell is around Stephen Ross? Who the hell is around Stephen Ross? Write about that.
I don't think that'll make today's coverage.
15 years.
I could cover the 15 years anytime. So I didn't. The Sun Sentinel didn't send me all the way out here to just skip through today's game. So I do have to finish covering this game first. So I'll do that first, and then I'll get to all the bigger picture things another time. But I will.
Okay. All right. You're the best, brother. Safe in your travels. Yes, we'll catch up next week.
Sounds good. Enjoy yourself out there.
You got it. I definitely will. Don't forget, folks, Welt Rheaume, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume, if they were running the Dolphins, we'd be kicking ass. Because they kick ass. I saw them get progressive and crush them. So many of our listeners, West Coast, East Coast of Florida, have called Welt Rheaume. And you can too, folks. You're dealing with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, 954-966-4646. And by the way, if your home or business suffers any kind of damage, you don't have to call the insurance company because they're going to send their adjusters and they don't work for you. Call Welt Rheaume first. They send their adjusters, and they attack the insurance company on your behalf. Nobody better. Support the great sponsors that support us. Welt Rheaume, 954-966-4646.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.